How is it going, everybody? You're watching Denable Tech, and iOS 15 was just unveiled a couple days ago at WWDC 21. And what I can tell you is iOS 15 is a huge, an enormous disappointment. Let me explain. So, we Apple fans, like I'm sure you are, and definitely I'm one, we all expect iOS major updates, those huge updates that only happen once a year and that we're always super excited. We're all watching WWDC to see firsthand all the new features, all the new changes, and just install those betas on day one just to take advantage and to test and do our own hands-on those awesome new features because of the new updates, right? That happened in iOS 12, 13, 14, and now it's time for iOS 15. And the thing is, we didn't have that. We didn't have those awesome new features, those awesome new changes, those all new redesigns, and we didn't have any of that. So let's go a little bit deeper on this. Let me explain what I mean so you know what I'm talking about. Last year, Apple unveiled iOS 14, right? And we had huge changes on the home screen, like the new widgets and the app library. And not only that, we had some awesome features like picture-in-picture, which completely changes the way we access, we consume content in our iPhone. And of course, we also had features like no full screen phone calls. So every time you receive phone calls before, it would just block the whole screen and it was annoying. And now in iOS 14, we just had that little notification on top. So those features just change the way we use our iPhones. And of course, all major updates are like that. Like for example, the year before, in iOS 13, we had dark mode. We had the all-new Photos app with some awesome new tools for editing and stuff like that. We also had the all-new Reminders app. It was completely different, completely redesigned, and also new features like signing with Apple, which were incredible for privacy and security. The year before, in 2018, we had iOS 12, and the biggest change in iOS 12 was performance improvements, because as you probably know, iOS 11 had a few hiccups and problems and performance issues. For some reason, it just wasn't stable enough. It had a few bugs, quite a lot of bugs actually, and it was very different from what we were used to in iOS. So iOS 12 fixed all of that with some awesome performance improvements. And not only that, we had the introduction of Memoji, group FaceTime, and Do Not Disturb became useful. Like Do Not Disturb had many upgrades and many new features and customizations which just made people use it, because before people just didn't really use Do Not Disturb because of customization and things like that. And then 1 year before, we had iOS 11 in 2017. And iOS 11 introduced some awesome features as well, like augmented reality, AirPlay 2. We just changed our AirPlay completely, and we use so much AirPlay nowadays. We had an all new App Store, and also, especially for the iPad, iOS 11 was a revolution, a complete revolution. Because of iOS 11, the iPad is what it is today, almost a computer. iOS 11 introduced the dock for the iPad, the Files app, multitasking, and much more actually, which I have right here on my iPad that I'm reading it from. And if it wasn't for iOS 11, this iPad would still be a huge iPhone, all right? And last but not least, we have iOS 10. And iOS 10 made huge changes in Siri, the music app, messages, and many other applications, just like it did on the lock screen. The lock screen became useful as well. Before, we just had the lock screen showing some notifications, and in iOS 10, we introduced widgets and many other implementations for the lock screen. It became a useful thing for us iPhone users. And of course, last but not least, we also had the Home app. Apple introduced this new app called Home, which again completely changed the way we interact with smart homes and smart product and devices and connected devices. So if you use smart products in your house, if your house is smart and you use the Home app, that's because of iOS 10. and introduced all of that. And then after all those years and all those major updates, all of them incredible in their own way, we have iOS 15, which was introduced just a few days ago, as I mentioned, in WWDC 21. And iOS 15 does not have major changes and major new features. So iOS 15 has pretty much 4 big changes, and I have them here. As you saw, I was reading throughout the whole video, and I'm still reading because it's so much information actually. So iOS 15 has a redesigned notifications, Safari, weather, and notes. But redesigns, using the word redesign is pushing it a little bit, because we don't have many new changes and many new designs. It's just a few things here and there, to be honest. We have the notification summary, but I just don't get it to work on my iPhone. Of course, we're still in beta 1, but the notification summary does not really work as expected, at least for now. So I don't see a huge deal in notifications. And regarding design, we have a few changes here and there for iOS 15. We also have live text, which on its own is an interesting feature, but you have to consider that Google does that for years with Google Lens. And so we can use all of those features that we have in live text just by downloading a third-party application, and Android has that built in natively for years as well. So not a big deal, not a key change. And then we have the 2 last changes, and those ones are more interesting, like the focus modes, which are interesting, but they're pretty much an improvement in the do not disturb mode. So we have some more customization for the do not disturb, so it gets more interesting. You can create profiles that get a little bit better, but it's just an improvement of the do not disturb mode, nothing more than that. And then we have more improvements as well in FaceTime. So FaceTime has more improvements, new design here and there. You can create links for video chats, and then you have the share play audio as well, which is interesting. But if you think about it, what FaceTime is trying to do is just catch up with the competitors like Zoom, Google Meet, and Skype. They do all of that already, and we are doing all of that for a while now with those softwares. So FaceTime is just trying to catch up. So it's not really a huge new incredible feature. It's nothing like that. So bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you here is iOS 15 is a disappointment, because iOS 15 is different from all the other major updates that I can remember. We used to update, we used to use the betas, we used to run and install beta versions just to test those new versions because they were incredible, new, and different. Now in iOS 15, it's actually kind of hard to notice the difference. If you have a device running iOS 14 here and a device running iOS 15 here, you really have to look to find those differences. You really gotta make an effort to realize that that device is updated to the latest version. It's like that, I promise you. It's not easy. If you give this iPhone, which is running iOS 15, to a regular user, and even to an advanced user, somebody who likes Apple, there's a huge chance they will not notice the difference, because it's really small. You really gotta look into those differences. You gotta know where you're looking at to definitely tell that you're updated to the big, major iOS update, which is iOS 15. So that's pretty much it. That's all what I wanted to tell you. I'm not telling you here that you shouldn't update. Of course you should. You should take advantage of all those new features, and also privacy, security. We should have some boost in performance and battery like we always have, but this is not a major big deal. You not feel a difference after you update. You'll not definitely notice. It's incredible, it's new, it's amazing. It's probably gonna feel like it's iOS 14.8. That's more like it, right? So that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button down below, the subscribe button, and the little bell icon to get notified whenever I post a new video. And also, please don't forget to hit the comment box down below. Let me know what you thought about this video. Give me your feedback. I always love to read your comments. All right, so that's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys in my next video as usual. Bye bye.